Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Alexandra Suzanne Greenawalt of Closet Clarity. I'm a personal stylist and have been doing this sort of work for successful women the past 13 years. I'm so excited. I have a great guest with us today, Michelle Rodriguez. Hi, Michelle. So Michelle is she has a website called the Paid Stylist, and she teaches stylists how to build their own styling empire. And previously, she had been a very successful stylist in Austin, Texas. And I wanted to have her on because I wanted to sort of bring down the curtain on the fact that all of us stylists, we don't always have it all together. That we're women also, and we're just all human.
With styling issues.
Yes, with styling issues. One of those issues is that the average is that we wear about 20% of our closet. So there's a lot of excess hanging around. And I'm on a mission to help women heal their relationship with their style and reclaim their closet. So today we're going to be talking with Michelle because she's actually she's like the only person who's gotten a sneak peek into my program. She's been on the other side, and so she's going to share her insights. And we decided that we were going to talk about the 3 keys to closet clarity. And the first key being to set yourself up for success, meaning if you know that your closet is a very overwhelming thing for you, like figuring out how you can, and again, the program shows you different avenues to take, and one of the avenues is to break it down into very small chunks, because I found that everyone works differently. Yeah, so Michelle, did you have any thoughts on, because you were a stylist and you saw a lot of closet overwhelm from firsthand?
I did, and it's actually been so interesting to be on this other side officially now. I haven't styled for 2 years since I started the Paid Stylist. I've always been, it's been hard for me to ever have 2 lovers, and so 2 years ago I kind of had to make the decision whether to help stylists build their empires or continue with personal styling. And so when I took a step back from personal styling, holy cow, what happened to me? What happened to my style? What has happened to my closet? Because for 2 years, I just kind of doused myself into the consulting world. And, being on the side of helping clients or women who need help with their closets, I was in the shoes. I was literally in the shoes of the woman who is just looking at her closet and just thinking to herself, what happened to me? All of this used to make sense to me. What in the world? I would never buy stuff like this. Who is this? It almost felt like I was walking into a closet every day of someone I didn't even know. So when I went through your program, what helped tremendously is that it helped me to do as much as I wanted each day or as little as I could each day. Not only am I an entrepreneur, but I'm a wife, and I have 2 very busy boys that they're very active children, and my availability as a mom and as a person who wants to clean out her closet can be 5 minutes or 15 minutes, or if I'm really lucky, an entire hour. So having your program available just on my iPad was really cool to when I could.
Yeah, I think part of the reason that my motivation of creating different ways to attack your closet was because when I thought about the last 13 years and all the different closets I went into and all the different scenarios I went into, and all the different mindsets I dealt with, I realized that, yes, I had a formula for dealing with my clients, but I found that, some clients did really well, like attacking their closet in like a big chunk of time. And then other clients did really well just doing a little bit now and then do a little bit later and then a little bit later. And so at first I was like, well, how do I create this program that says this is the way to do it? And I realized that I really can't say this is the only way. What I can do is I can say there's this way, or there's that way, or there's this way, and give choices to the consumer and to the woman so that they can look at their own life and go, you know what, I got a lot on my plate right now, but I could easily, schedule in 10 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day, or I can do like little bite-sized morsels. So moving on.
You know what, Alexandra, if you don't mind me, I'm just remembering of what else I experienced when I was going through your program, is that it's not only allowing for time logistically, right, for the obvious reasons logistically, but it's also for giving yourself time on the emotional level, because clearing out your closet, I mean, you are going into a mini therapy session, and I think that getting your mindset is not only on a logistical time frame, but also an emotional, like, okay, there are times when you're going to come across 2 pieces of clothing, right, and you're just like, whoo, those 2 pieces of clothing, for whatever reason, and what you imagined was going to take you, 1 hour to do has now been limited to 5 minutes because that's all you could take. And so that's what happened to me quite a number of times, where I just ran into certain pieces of clothing and just had to stop and reflect on, why did I make this purchase, and why do I continue to have it and not be able to get rid of it? So it's a little bit of both, of giving yourself time on both logistical and an emotional sense.
Well, their timing is great, Michelle, because the emotional part is the second key to success, and that's making room for the emotional part. And I actually I created a complete module that all it talks about is all the emotions that you're going to be going through and dealing with having that, attachment to, your favorite garment. That totally reminds me of a story that I have about a client who's a singer. So she had been gifted this micro mini dress, and it was by Versace. She had been neighbors with him, and so he gave her this dress, and she was so honored and flattered, but she was filled with so much shame and guilt because the dress barely fit. Like, she needed to lose like 5 or 10 pounds, and she knew that wasn't like realistic for her, and it wasn't that she needed to lose weight. It just, the dress wasn't the right size for her, and she had this family member who kept encouraging her to like lose the weight. And she knew that was extremely destructive thinking, but she held on to the dress, and she told me that the only time she ever fit into it was she had gotten sick. She had gotten the flu and had the flu for like a week, and so she lost weight naturally, and then she tried on the dress, and finally this past year, yeah, I know, it's hilarious, she finally let go of the dress and decided, that she was going to embrace the now, that she didn't want to keep something around her that reminded her of what she should be or what she should change herself into, that it was, more important for her to, to really embrace where she was at and be okay with it, and so I really wanted to have address the emotional part of cleaning out your closet. It was something that I've never seen any other program or blog post write about, and I just have seen it in so many clients that there's this huge emotional part behind the scenes, and emotions that bubble up. I mean, I imagine you experience them too.
Yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely, and I'm so glad that you actually cover that in your program, because the emotional component is such a huge part of clearing out your closet. I mean, every step of the personal styling process is a purification one, healing one, but there is something in particular about cleaning out your closet that opens up the can of worms. I mean, it just opens stuff up to, good things, to realize like, yeah, you know what, this is who I am. And other things, when you notice certain items that you're like, why did I buy that? That has nothing to do with my personality, and yet I still wear it. Why am I self-torturing myself that way and giving off an image that is totally not like me? That was something that happened to me with a particular garment. It was a blazer. It was nice, but it was navy and white polka dot. And while it's adorable and it's great and it's a piece that would look great on so many people, the reality is that I am not polka dot any day of the week. And yet I purchased this garment because I saw it on social media, on, the mind. I was like, well, maybe it should be something that should be me. But it's not me. Polka dots, gingham, cutesy, it won't ever be me. And so your program helped me to get to the core of that and just be absolutely confident with the style that I am now, and be comfortable with getting rid of anything in my closet that wasn't in line with that.
Well, I know that when we were talking about it last week when I was in Austin, and you were saying that it was really challenging to come up with your style statement and your style intentions. So what I did is I went back to kind of the drawing board, and I added in a whole page of words that are potential parts of your style statement, potentially words that one person could just breeze over the list and choose a bunch of words to be like, yeah, that's me, yep, that's me, yep, that's me. And then you do this exercise where you pick a bunch of 6 to 8 words, and then you look at the ones that you've circled, and then you narrow down to 3, and that becomes your style statement. I just did this with a client this week, and she was just like blown away. She's like, oh my God, now it makes it so much easier. Like, I think that as stylists, we have a big vocabulary, but the average woman doesn't have that style vocabulary. So part of my job is a guide in the process.
Or even refine that style vocabulary, because we do live in a day and age where style is more in our face, and it's easier for most women to hear terms like bohemian or chic or whatever you could be totally different for someone else. And so having a mix of style statements gives you, not only as a client, as a person setting up your own style statement, but also for a stylist to understand, oh, okay, you're a bohemian, but you also like chic, you also like refined, you also like black and white, right? So which can oftentimes not seem like it would be bohemian, but there are ways that they all interweave together.
And I worked with a client, and she had so many opposing different styles. She was attracted to literally like every style. And we actually had to narrow things down for her because she was like a size 14. So I knew that like if she wore anything like bohemian or like drapey or flowy, it was going to look really, it was going to tempt her, make her look larger. So what I did is I helped her see that she could be classic with her clothing styles, and then she could use accessories as an opportunity to express her more bohemian side in terms of like jewelry and scarves and this and that. And once I explained that to her, like her whole world was so much clearer. It was so much clearer what she should be wearing, as clothing, and then what she should be wearing as accessories. But she was what I call a multi-passionate style. She had like a multi-passionate style.
Which happens again with, with visuals and images just being constantly in our world these days. You can't help but be on Pinterest and just be like, yeah, I like that, and I like that too, and I like that, because we're now given this banquet of options, of style options. It's hard. It's hard not to do everything.
Yeah. So the third key in success for closet clarity is what I call shifting your attitude. And I think you know this, but I'll tell everyone, I recently went through my own apartment purge and closet purge, and I was very resistant to giving away. I had a whole bunch of gowns from my ballroom days because I used to be a ballroom dancer, and I had a whole bunch of really dramatic, sequiny, over-the-top, gowns and outfits and crazy pieces that were very editorial, but I never wore. And one of them was a dress that my father had given my mother. Now, my parents are divorced since I was 5 years old, but this dress was something that I played dress up in as a kid, and used as Halloween costume many times over. And this dress was from the 60s, and it was couture, and it was exquisitely made. So I was like so resistant. I was like, I know I have to get rid of this, but I'm not sure like how I can do it. And then I came up with this great idea, because I knew that in high school I spent a lot of time in the theater department at Brooks School, and it had been an integral part of me growing up and becoming the creative individual that I am now. And I thought to myself, well, what if I could donate all of these fabulous dramatic pieces to a theater? And I thought, well, what about NYU? They've got to have a theater right here in the city. So I took I think it was like 30 pieces or 28 pieces, including shoes, and I donated the whole lot to them. And I don't think they were accustomed to getting, a stylist wardrobe stuff, but it completely shifted my attitude, and it made me. I almost was like, I want to do this again. It felt so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know that closet clarity, it has a lot of advantages, to getting rid of the excess, and some advantages are that you can actually see the good stuff that you have in your closet, and it's also easier to get dressed in the morning.
Yep.
And you can see what's missing in your closet, where your holes are, what you need to shop for next. And I find that so many times, like as women, we can't see what other people see. There's that sort of fashion blind spot. But this program sort of helps you lovingly take a look at your blind spots and what you may need to get rid of and what you need to add into your life. So I do want to bring this up. So 2 weeks ago, and I went to Austin, Texas to visit Michelle, and when I got there was this pile of shoes on the floor. And she's like, oh yeah, by the way, I want to go through my shoes, So we dived in deep, and we started going through all your shoes, and one of the first things I asked you was, so what are you not wearing? And the first pair of shoes, I've got a picture for us, was these elfin shoes. They're like green booties, right?
Yes. Elfin is a good description. It's true.
I'm having trouble pulling it up, but and I remember your response was that you had bought them and you thought they would be useful, but then whenever you put them on, you felt like an elf.
Every single time I put them on, I felt like an elf. And I am 5 foot nothing, 5'2" with a good heel. And so when I purchased these, it didn't even cross my mind that these could come off as elf shoes. And they're green, like Christmas evergreen. So that wasn't helping the scenario either. The front of the shoe was rounded, which, it was just a hot mess. it was a hot mess, but I purchased it. I thought it was going to be a great um, shoe for some reason, and when I brought it home, I just it never left my closet. I would try them on, felt like an elf, put them back on the shelf.
I think we all have that, elf shoe or that elf item or that silly item that we're like, what was I thinking? Was I hungry? Was I tired? I stressed out when I was shopping. I mean, it's crazy. So what sort of ahas, like just going through your shoes, what ahas did you come up with or takeaways?
Oh man, just with the shoes alone, again, it continued to refine my style. And by refine, it was just, I've been working with a stylist, and so now with you, I continue, I'm blessed with all these women who just loving and caringly take care of me by giving me advice. And so I had already worked with a stylist back in October. We started refining a couple of things, what worked, what didn't, and then with you, it was just a continuous effort of refining what I had already established back in October and have been working on. So one of the things by just you going through my shoes was, again, the permission to let go. Even though I already knew of the shoes that I should have let go a long time ago, it was like that extra permission, just that extra, yeah, you need to get rid of these. They do nothing for you. On the other hand, it was good to see, the items the pairs that I really loved and I felt really defined me. You totally backed that up. You're like, yeah, I could totally see these are stays. They need to go to the cobbler. They need a little TLC, but they're staying. And now I just have a closet of shoes that I really love. And now I have a very specific list of shoes that I'm going to look for and nothing else. And so just yesterday, I went to dinner with my family, and my son is just really into fashion right now, into looking good. He's a preteen, so, needs to look good is top priority right now. So we went into Forever 21 to find a couple of things, and it is just excess gone wild, right? It is just the epitome of excess. Yeah. And going through that exercise with you, just with my shoes alone and your program, really helped me go into Forever 21 and just kind of not be interested at all. There was really no interest to buy, to look, to none of that, because I knew that the style that I was already refining and truly owning for myself wasn't going to be found at that store. And so we went in there, found a couple of things for my kiddo, walked out without an ounce of like, oh, I should have bought that, or, oh, no regret at all. Out of the store without anything.
Awesome. Well, remember when we were done editing and we had all of your favorite shoes lined up, I said to you, well, we know your favorite designer is Cole Haan.
It is Cole Haan. I mean, those shoes just love my feet.
And I also remember you said to me, now I realize that I can live with less shoes, but it's really important to have better and the right shoes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, most of the shoes that we got rid of it wasn't because they were terrible or they were ugly, minus the elf shoe, but it was because they hurt my feet.
Yeah.
And it had to do with the quality and the brand of the shoe.
Yeah. I edited out a lot of shoes that, are uncomfortable. Yeah. And I also find that, editing a closet is a process of layers. Like, I worked with a client a couple weeks ago, and, we edited her closet, and then we went shopping, and then we came back to the closet to style all the new stuff with the old stuff, and we did some more editing, and then a week later, she had, worn all of her new stuff, and she said she went back to her closet, took out more stuff, and, like, it was really kind of this this gorgeous unfolding and process. Have
Yeah.
you found that you become ready to get rid of more stuff as time goes on?
Oh, I've been an editing fool
Yeah.
ever since. Yeah. I mean, I am constantly editing, constantly, the style statements, the terms are already part of my psyche, that it's become much easier for me just to know immediately if I find something in my drawer or pretty well, it's cleaned out now, but now I'm diving into like the hidden drawers, like the the ones that you just keep stuffing things into, and you just that drawer. So I'm now going into those drawers and just going
Yeah.
to town because I am just like, yeah, no, this isn't me. This isn't me. No. Oh, and then I do find the gems that are like, ooh, this one stays. So it's been great. It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So, as someone who's been through my program, do you have questions for me that you think someone on the fence might have?
I think that I think that a person who, because this is something that I felt before I took your program, and being, I was a little leery about it being close to working with you. Like I was curious to see how an online closet editing program would compare to working with someone in person, the real deal, and whether it was going to just not be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty much like working with you. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I know you as we've been friends for a long time. I know you as a stylist. I know you as a, just fellow entrepreneur. And so going through the program, I really did feel like you were there. Like you were in my room, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just like pausing you when I needed to pause you and hitting play when I needed you to press play again. And so it actually really did feel like you were there with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I would say, like, if for anyone who may be considering uh, or doubting whether this would be the same experience as working with you live, I would say, yeah, it's pretty much like working with Alexandra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But do you have any questions for me? Some burning
I
questions that would help people understand?
Okay, you're gonna have to
Like,
edit here. I paused because I'm like, oh my God, I don't have any questions.
I know because I wrote you some questions.
You wrote me questions?
Yeah, like your program offers different avenues to attack your closet. What do you think? Who do you think Closet Clarity is for? Um, why did you decide to turn your in-person service into a program? Those were the questions that I.
Oh, okay, got it. Sorry, I just read the other part.
That's okay.
Okay, so I'll give a little break, like little no talking, so that you can edit. Because you know how to edit and all that, right? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, so one of the questions that I was thinking of is just, again, from the entrepreneur stylist perspective, was who exactly program for? Is it for the person who is wanting to hire you in the future, or is it for someone who maybe just calls you and just asks, this is all that I need. I just need someone to help me with closet. I'm just curious from like the entrepreneur perspective, who you created the program for.
Well, basically, I created the program because I saw that this universal problem that we women, especially successful and working moms, get
Mm-hmm.
in sort of a scenario where our lives have become a lot bigger, and you described exactly that when you sort of transitioned from being a stylist to being a style mentor. Your life had gotten bigger, and your closet had been left behind. So that's who I built the program for. Basically, for the woman that feels like their closet is full, and yet they still feel they have absolutely nothing to wear.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, that would definitely make sense. That would definitely. So do you feel that, and again, like entrepreneur, stylist versus client, do you feel that this program, no, wait, sorry. I'm trying to think of how to word that without it being obvious. Um, Let me think. Who is this program for?
Oh, why did you decide to turn your in-person service into a program?
Is the answer going to be different from the one you just said?
Yeah, yeah.
It is? Okay, okay. Um, okay. So, okay, let me stop. Let me pause. So the other question that I had in my notes was why you would convert a service that you currently provide in person and charge more money for, why you would convert it into an online program that is as much money as, say, one of your in-person styling services.
That's an excellent question. And really, I built it because I realized that for years I had a backlog of people that had contacted me that couldn't really afford my private services, but that I ultimately really wanted to help because I really feel that every woman deserves to have a closet they love. So I realized that, by teaching online, I could reach way more women than I ever could with private clients.
Yeah.
And so I created this, what I think is a very digestible 8-part video series. It's a teaching, and you can really do it at your own pace. And I've included a workbook and some live Google Hangout calls with me so that you get your questions answered. And I was super conscious when I was making it that my demographic, well, the people that I was working for were so time starved. So the program is literally only 40 minutes of content. Because it was like, you know what, people are busy, and I want them, like you said, to be able to like stop and start and do it at their own pace and not feel like, oh my God, I have to, watch these videos and they go on and on and on. I mean, I know that there's tons of video programs out there, and sometimes I get, overwhelmed by the amount of time that you have to put in as the
Right.
as the viewer, you know. So I've actually I valued the program at $150. However, I am offering significant 75% off discounts for the first round, and also I am including a few, very few, like a limited few, free spots, sponsored spots, and the only way to get in on the mix and the special deal is to sign up at the bottom of the page on my website, which is alexandrastylist/closet-clarity.com. So at the bottom, sorry, Closet Clarity, that's it. And at the bottom there's a little sign up button where people can sign up for the list, and then they'll get all the juicy info.
Okay, so they go to your website or to that link that you were just saying,
Yeah.
and then at the bottom there's a button. So you're saying like the first 3 people who sign up for.
So basically, I will be the first 48 hours of the program when I release it.
Yeah.
I will be saying, there are X number of spots that are free, and so once you're on that list, you got to make sure to watch your email and not check it like a week later.
Got it. Okay, okay. And then those. Okay, I see. And then you'll give them details.
Yeah, so I'm basically only promoting that through that list.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was like answer in the comments or something like that, but I understand now. That's awesome. That's really awesome, Alexandra. I really hope that people take
Thanks.
advantage of it because it's a really cool program, and I mean, it helped me. I've been styling 6 years in Austin and helping women. You know, we served the very similar demographic, and it helped me tremendously. It helped me get back on track. Like I said, my closet and my style had just gone to the wayside, and
Yeah.
you know, through your help and this program, it's just, again, it's continued to filter my style, refine it, and just go every step of the way. And if you would like, if you want to show people on your website or somewhere after this video, you are more than welcome to show them a picture of what I looked like last week in comparison to this week, because it's a totally different Michelle. Even then, my hair has changed completely, and I think that's still a living and breathing testament of how refining your style, having a style statement, clearing out your closet, and continuously moving forward helps tremendously.
Yeah, it's true. You went through a dramatic transformation. When I saw your new haircut, I was just like, and we had talked about it. We had talked
Yeah,
about it when I was there, and
good.
it's just you are glowing. You're glowing.
Thank you. Well, thanks to your help, honey. Thank you.
Oh,
Your
well,
talent is amazing, and I don't just say that just, you know, because we're having this webinar and of course promoting this amazing program, but you truly are blessed with this talent of styling and just getting to the heart of a woman's core needs and really helping all of us shine in our best light. So thank you for sharing what you have with all of us.
aw. Well, that's a great note to end on. Thank you so much,
You're
Michelle.
welcome.
And
You're
thank
welcome,
you
honey.
all who have tuned in to watch this webinar. So I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys on the blog. Bye. Bye. Hello. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. But it
Okay,
still
great.
says live.
Oh, okay. I gotta. It's not public.
Should I hang up or what do you
Hold,
think?
hold on. I'm gonna stop broadcasting.